What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like, subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about a post that I recently seen. And this post basically it just says it talks about the goats of each decade. And man, there's no LeBron James in there. Like, what decade did LeBron James, well, like, which one did he dominate, man? And so I'm like, first off, all right, let's take the 60s, right? And so you have Bill Russell. He sold the 60s up. I think Bill Russell wound up with like 11 rings that he had, throughout the 60s. So, ain't no argument there with Bill Russell. Then you get to the 70s and you had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor, and I really wasn't around for the 70s. And so, I mean, if they say so, that's cool. I don't have an argument with that. I don't even know how many rings Kareem he wound up with, but I know he was dominant. So he dominated in the 70s. I can go for that. I can't think of nobody offhand that I heard about, in the 70s. Maybe I don't know how long Wilt Chamberlain played. I think Wilt Chamberlain was mostly in the 60s with Bill Russell. Kareem seen a little bit of Wilt Chamberlain, and I do remember seeing some film where Wilt Chamberlain blocked Kareem sky hook, and I thought that shot was unblockable, but Wilt Chamberlain blocked that a couple times. But pretty much, I can go for the 70s. And so then now you go to the 80s, and then you had the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird era, right? So Magic Johnson, I think Magic Johnson had like 4 rings or 5 rings, something like that. Larry Bird, I think Magic had 4. I think Larry Bird had 3, right? And so that was, you that's a toss up between those two. I think, but you can give the edge to Magic. So I don't have no, again, I don't have no problem with that. Then you had Mike, that's my guy. Mike had 6. Mike just dominated in the 90s. So he won 6 rings in the 90s. And like I said in a video previous that I done, he won 6 rings in the 90s, and he kept a lot of people from getting rings. Mike, like I said, Mike Charles, no ring for Charles Barkley, no ring for Patrick Ewing, no ring for Karl Malone, no rings for Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. He only Hakeem Olajuwon got 2 rings doing that. When Mike wasn't playing. So other than that, Mike was shutting people down. So definitely the 90s belong to Mike. All right, so we can go there. Then you got Kobe in the 2000s, in the early 2000s. I think Kobe wound up with 5 rings. And so, Kobe did his thing. Kobe was very dominant. I'm trying to think who you can debate in the 2000s with Kobe and his 5 rings. Tim Duncan. Yeah, you could probably make a strong argument for Tim Duncan and with Kobe, because both of them had 5 rings, right? So you probably could make a argument for Tim Duncan, instead of Kobe. But either way, you can't go wrong. So now let's go to the 2010s, and you got Steph Curry. I'm glad they put Steph Curry in there, and this little post came from Basketball Talk. I need to follow them, man, because I'm glad they put Steph Curry in there instead of LeBron James, right? Because Steph Curry got 4 rings. All right. He tied with LeBron for 4 rings. But the thing is, Steph Curry played for one team for that entire time. And, I think he got 4 rings, and I don't know how many years, but I think it's in my opinion, the Golden State Warriors would be considered a dynasty, and so that LeBron James wasn't part of a dynasty. LeBron James didn't build a dynasty at all. LeBron James won 2 rings in Miami. When they was with the Heat, he won 2 rings. But other than that, he's been like floating around from team to team, trying to create like what do they call, like super teams, so they can win. But he missed this opportunity to be a part of a dynasty and build a dynasty. I know recently, Pat Riley came out and said that LeBron James would probably have 6 rings had he stayed in Miami. And I tend to agree with Pat Riley. I think that Pat Riley would have. Now they had 2, right? They had 2 before LeBron left. And so I think if LeBron had stayed, they probably he might have went on to win at least, because Dwayne Wade stayed, I think, like another 2 or 3 years when LeBron James left, and I think Dwayne Wade went to I think it was Chicago he went to. But all right, so I would have say if they'd have got 2 more with Dwayne Wade, and they would have had 4. I think they probably could have won like 6 rings if he had stayed in Miami with Pat, with Pat Riley, because Pat Riley would have known how to put talent around LeBron, number one, that would have matched LeBron's skill set. That's number one. Number two, I think Pat Riley would have challenged LeBron to get better. LeBron James, in order for him to get more rings, he would have had to have gotten better instead of going to look for, to team up with better ball players. I think LeBron James, he would have had to improve his game. LeBron James would have had to have like back in the day, everybody used to work on the off season. They used to work on skills to improve their game. So LeBron would have to develop either a low post game, or he would have to develop a fadeaway jumper, or a shot that was like he would have had to have a go-to shot that was unstoppable, like Kareem had the sky hook, Mike had the fadeaway, Kobe had the fadeaway. He would have needed a shot like that, whereas though coming down the stretch in ball games, people knew that that's the shot that he could do, or he could shoot, that was unstoppable. And LeBron never had that. He never developed that. And so I think Pat Riley would have challenged him to raise his game level. And so I don't even think, as a fan, I don't even think we ever got to see the best of LeBron. I think he stunted his growth when he always wanted to chase super teams and go team up with somebody else. Another player who I think stunted their growth when they teamed up with other people was Kevin Durant. He stunted his growth. James Harden, I think he stunted his growth chasing those super teams, because when you stay put in one city, every year you got to get better. You got to add something to your game. And those guys, they were excellent ball players, but they never added anything else to their game. People, fans and people and their opponents criticize, and some of the criticism was constructive. Like whatever Kevin Durant weakness was, people would point that out, but he never had to work on his weakness. LeBron James never had to really work on his weakness because they moved from team to team. What's the guy name? James Harden never had to work on his weakness because if he couldn't find success in one city, he just moved to another city and tried to win with another set of ball players. So, yeah, man, I like that post again, because they have Steph Curry in there instead of LeBron James, man, and I think that's it's appropriate. I think Steph Curry stayed on one team for his entire career, so far, and I think that he won 4 rings on the same team, and he built. He's part of a dynasty. So, with that being said, man, y'all let me know if y'all agree that Steph Curry should be there instead of maybe LeBron or Kevin Durant or somebody else. But I think it's definitely Steph Curry. The 2010s belong to Steph Curry. That's my opinion. Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. With that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.